Hi guys, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, back in my cider shed with some more cider to try, and we're continuing on our French journey of the ciders I brought back from France. I was actually staying in the Loire, but managed to pick up a few ciders, some from bigger producers, some from smaller Normandie and Breton producers actually, whilst not in Loire, whilst travelling across to Saint-Malo from Portsmouth and then travelling back through Caen in Normandy itself. Managed to pick up a few different bits and bobs. So what have we got today? We've got, well, from a producer that I actually know. And actually, so I was in America. I was in New York selling craft beer. And the company I worked for also sold a little bit of cider. And it was that cider that gave me my cider epiphany, trying the ciders that they had. And they had two producers from France. They had Dupont and they had Drouin. And that is what we have today. Drouin, Christian Drouin. I have not had this one. Now it appears from the website that this is in fact pasteurised. From what I can gather, it doesn't say anything to that effect on the bottle. It does seem to have an AOP badge on here. It's not a brightly coloured one like they usually are, like blue and yellow or red and yellow. It's black and white. So I don't know if it's pasteurised, if they can say that it's AOP. I would assume not. I would assume you couldn't pasteurise it and call it AOP. But yeah. Basically, it's all their own orchards. They're third generation. They basically count themselves as a Calvados producer, as all these Normandy producers do. They're Calvados producers. Unlike in Brittany, in Normandy, they're like, we make Calvados, but also a bit of cider. You know, I go there for the cider, but they think of themselves as Calvados producers first and foremost. But all their own orchards, third generation. I think they've got like 20, 25 different varietals growing, something like that, possibly more. I can't remember all the blur. But anyway, so this might be pasteurised. I'm not sure. But I've never had this one before. So let's open it and find out. Let's open it and find out. What's the ABV? It says Brut. So if it's Brut, it's going to be 4.5 or more. Because that's how they define Brut in France. It's not the sweetness so much. It's the alcohol content. Although as things get stronger, there's going to be less sugar, obviously, because they convert to alcohol. So you know, the stronger they are, the drier they will be. That doesn't mean there isn't residual sugar, because these are Keef ciders and not generally going to fully ferment. 4.5%. Yeah. Let's get the cork out. Nice old school label there as well. I don't know if you noticed that. Come on, you git. Pop. Smoking gun. Whoa. Effervescent. Fizzy this one. Fizzy this one. So if it is pasteurised, it's very fizzy for something that won't have fermented in bottle if it's been pasteurised. Is it pasteurised? I don't see how. How are they making it fizzy then, if they're pasteurising it? Are they just, what are they doing? Because that is a pretty fizzy. That's the fizziest one we've had so far. It's got an AOP in it. So yeah, that's making me ask questions about this. If it's not pet nat, which is I think basically how they do it, they bottle it before the end of fermentation to get the fizz. So it's a natural fizz in the bottle. It looks like there's some, there's haze in there. It's very fizzy. They're not going to force carbonate it and put a cork in, I wouldn't have thought. Cidre Bouche cork. That's what that is. Yeah, not sure. And the website doesn't tell you a lot of stuff. And it's not really aimed at people who sell cider, really into cider. It seems to be aimed more at the general public. So the information is quite minimal. But yeah, on the website it says that this particular one is pasteurised. But I'm not sure. All right, so let's have a look. Colour. Quite a light sort of gold amber, that. Quite a light gold amber. Loads of bubbles, as you've already seen. It's hazy. It's hazy, so it's unfiltered, but I guess if you're keeving, you're kind of fining it anyway, because that's what the process is. Actually, it's a bit brighter. There was a little bit of condensation on the glass. So it's pretty bright, but it's definitely hazy as well. Loads of fine bubbles coming up in there. Probably got a bit too much in the glass, because I was trying to catch it from foaming up and spilling everywhere. But let's give it a sniff. It's quite cold. Probably a bit too cold. Let's have a go. Lovely nose. Lovely nose. And I'm going to say it like I always say, it is quite a rich one, this, and it is bordering on Tartar-Town. Yeah, it is. It's bordering on Tartar-Town, but there's kind of a fresh apple character in there as well, for sure. But yeah, there's a rich poached apple. I want to say almost like apple pie, this one, rather than Tartar-Town possibly. Yeah, definitely, actually. It is. It's like apple pie. So think cooking apples, / dessert apples, cooking apples. They've been baked, but doused with brown sugar. And that's what you've got. It smells like apple pie filling. That's what this one smells like. Not so much like tartatan. In fact, it really does. It really does smell like sort of poached cooking apples with loads of brown sugar. Nice. Yeah, nice. Nice smell, that. Really does smell like a apple tart rather than tartatan, if that makes any sense. This is that caramelised sugar and all that sort of like zesty apple smell with some sweetness about it. Let's try it. Okay, tannin, soft tannin, so stringency, squeaky teeth, squeaky palate, that's what soft tannins do. Bigger tannins are the soft tannins. Smaller tannins, hard tannins, are what give you bitterness on the back. What I sort of describe as leatheriness. It doesn't really have any. That flavour, that aromatic I got though, that kind of quite bright sort of apple character, this has it. This does have it. It is almost like an apple pie character, apple pie filling character on the palate as well. It is very cold. It will change. Man, it really smells like, yeah, apple puree, something like that is what it smells like, which I associate less with cider apples and more with eating and cooking apples. So the aromatic isn't what I would normally associate with Normandy cider, but this is true Normandy cider, absolutely. Lovely bubbles. It's not bone dry, but it is drier. It is drier than a lot of Normandy ciders. You know, so it is. I mean, Brut by Normandy standards, this is Brut. It really is. Refreshing, crisp. This is bordering on top of English. I don't want to say that. I don't know if I want to say that. It lies somewhere between West Country and East Country, sort of in England. You know, it's got some acidity you get from like eating apples, but it's got tannin stuff you also associate with cider apples. And it's more acid than I would normally consider a Normandy cider to be. Having said that, it is delicious. When it warms up, it will get more flavour, and I will post some notes here on the screen. If I think there's anything worth noting, if it gets any more complexity or develops flavours that I'm not picking up, because it is pretty cold. Yeah, that is very appley Normandy cider. When I say that, I mean like, yeah, apple pie filling, cooking apple with sugar. Yeah, not loads of sugar though. Maybe apple skin as well, minerality. It's a solid cider, it is, but I do not think it's as good as their proper Pied d'Auge AOP AOC cider, which this isn't. I'm confused about why it's got this on it, to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure why this is allowed, particularly if they're claiming it's pasteurised. Lots of questions. If anybody knows the answers, post below and let me know. I always like to learn things. You never know. If you think you know everything, you never learn anything. And it's always good to learn. Every day is a school day. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me in my shed. I hope you join me again. But until then, cheers.